for the Urban Soul is a compilation of short stories, short novels, which are just novellas, and poetry depicting Black characters dealing with everyday life issues, from social justice issues to singleness to parenting to college life, mostly young adult to early 30 somethings, and infusing Black culture, vernacular, fashion, music, and spirituality. So this is so exciting for me, you guys, to have this book out, because it is my first book project that is fiction, and it's combining my two passions, spirituality, Black culture. So it was so fun writing this book. Another tip about this book that I really enjoyed is that the first two stories are intertwined. They're connected. So the first character, Lisa, actually has a love interest, Joe. And then his story is the very second story in this book. And so you find out more about Joe. The other thing is that the venue that these characters takes place in are in New York, located at a cafe called Devon's Cafe. Devon's Cafe is Black owned. It has swag. They do poetry nights. It's all that, right? So I wish we had something like that here in Cleveland. But anyways, what's exciting is that I am foreseeing future books that are going to be related to these characters in those same venues. And I'm actually working on my first novel that'll be related. So that's just a little bit of background on Stories for the Urban Soul. You are tuning in to Word of the Day Wednesday. So I'm going to move this a little bit, because you are tuning in to Stories for the Urban Soul. Word of the Day Wednesdays. You are tuning into Word of the Day Wednesdays. So Word of the Day Wednesdays is something I started actually this summer, and it's nuts, you guys. It is December. This is bananas. It is almost 2022. Whatever. But I started Word of the Day Wednesdays to just expound on topics that I covered in my blog. I do a weekly blog on betterthanwine.net and NicoleDMiller.com. This week's blog is titled, Why Are We Waiting? So I share my experience with walking out extended singleness, dating, finding love, and some of my friends' experiences that are freakishly similar. And it was inspired. I attended one of my really good friends' weddings last week, and so just kind of stirred up a lot that I really wanted to release through my writing. Writing has been such a great outlet for me, you guys, of processing grief, processing just painful life moments, really great life moments, and growing closer to God. So there were times in my, faith where I felt like I couldn't really talk to God, but if I wrote, then I could connect with God. And even writing this book was such a great outlet for me connecting with God. So, long story short, the latest blog post, Why Are We Waiting? I cover a variety of topics of dating, extended singleness, looking for love. I share, very transparently about just my own journey of looking for love, trying to find the right match. And I do it because I want to encourage other people. Like, a lot of people are in a similar situation. And even if you're not, there just may be something in your journey that is related to waiting. So for me, I have waited in various aspects of my life for a multitude of things. But I do see the parallel. I do see a formula. Like, I do see the way God works with me is waiting. And so he may not come when you want him to. that old hymn. But he definitely comes on time. And I just like to share all of the nuances of that. Like, are we waiting for practical reasons? More women than men, more women and men than the church, more Black women than Black men. And not to say that we have to be with Black men just because we're Black women. But sometimes that's our heart's desire, and that's our purpose and calling, which I feel like it is for me. So that kind of plays into that. And I know statistics can be misleading, but I'm going off of personal experience. So a lot of what I write about is my own personal journey and my friend's journey. So this is our reality. This is our experience. And I think for a long time, we were kind of sold this Christianese version of love, right? And I often describe it as, it's like this Disney fairy tale, and we'll just put Jesus on top. So you do X, Y, and Z. You go to college, you get engaged, you build you get a good job, you get married, you build a house, notice I said, and you have a couple of kids, and everything works out, and you love God. Well, all of me and my friends learned that was like not true. Even, you know, some who are still married or remarried or whatever, it's just like, that's just not reality. That's not ideal. So I just love to share what I've learned in this journey through my writing and on my blog. And I do that even in my fiction writing. So some people may say, well, it's fiction, it's not real. But I love to incorporate my real life experiences, my friends' real life experiences into these stories that are relatable and that can help maybe you in your situation be encouraged, keep moving forward, all of those good things. What I've learned in this journey of waiting is that it is Holy Spirit, like it is God's supernatural grace to sustain you. There are times where you don't think you'll make it to the next level, or you don't think you'll make it to the next season, and you do. And that is a testimony unto his sustaining power. And for me, I can say I've had an amazing journey, an amazing adventure, so many gifts and blessings, so many opportunities, so many open doors, things that I just never fathomed, things that my ancestors never fathomed. Like, I truly believe I am their dream come true. So, but that doesn't negate the waiting, the long suffering, the difficulty of discipleship. And so I just love writing about those things so that I can release them and be real about life. I think often historically in church and religious sectors, we have felt like we've needed to put on these airs and make it look a certain way. And social media probably, you know, hypes that up, where you feel like people are only seeing your highlights, right? But that's why I look at my blog, because it's an outlet for the lowlights. It's an outlet to say, hey, I may look like I have it all together, but I don't. And if I do, this is the byproduct of intense work, intense, difficult seasons, walking through them, getting through them. And I'm blessed by a multitude of people surrounding me. It's so helpful to have like-minded people. It's so helpful to have people who are on a similar journey, to help you move forward in your purpose and path. So check out the latest blog post. Why are we waiting? I don't have all the answers, but what I come to is the results of God has never played me. Like, I just cannot say that I have not received the desire of my heart after a time of waiting. Now, this is definitely the longest thing I've waited for ever in my life. But so much of what I've gotten has been after like 10 years, 15 years. Like, that's just been my story. I don't want to put that on nobody else. But it's also been very purposeful. I've seen the transformation in my journey, both internally and externally. I've seen how I've grown, how I've been cultivated into the woman he created me to be, and who I wanted to be, like all those years ago. So I can say that it's definitely purposeful. The waiting is purposeful. And I can say that, like, he always comes through. So be encouraged. Check out the blog post. If you want to learn more about me and my books, NicoleDMiller.com. Follow me on Instagram at my new account at Nicole.DMiller. Facebook.com/HCOHB. Twitter at Nicole D. Miller. And BetterThanOne.net. Thank you guys for tuning in to Word of the Day Wednesdays. I hope this was encouraging. Feel free to email me, NicoleDMiller1983@gmail.com. I just released my monthly newsletter, so you can access that by going on my Linktree, which is under my old Instagram account, which is at HCOHB. And you can go on my new Instagram account, but you'd have to DM me that you want to be added, or just go to my website, NicoleDMiller.com, go under blogs, scroll down to any blog post, and subscribe. There you have it. Hope to see you guys next week. Enjoy your evening.